In 2025, the entertainment world has been shaken by a series of heartbreaking announcements, the loss of beloved performers, rising talents, and unforgettable faces who shaped film and television in their own powerful ways. Their stories, their artistry, and their impact will never fade. Today we look back at 18 Black actors whose passing left a profound mark on fans everywhere. Number 1. Kenneth Washington. Kenneth Washington may not be a familiar name to younger viewers today, but for fans of classic television, he remains an essential figure in TV history. Born on October 19, 1936, in Ethel, Mississippi, Kenneth grew up during a period of tremendous social change, witnessing major shifts not only in America, but also in the evolving world of Hollywood. He passed away at age 88 on July 18, 2025, at his home in Beverly Hills, marking the end of an extraordinary life and career. Kenneth joined Hogan's Heroes in its final season in 1971, stepping into the role of Sergeant Richard Baker. Replacing Ivan Dixon, a beloved cast member, was a challenging task, and longtime fans were understandably protective of the original character. Yet Kenneth quickly won them over with his warm screen presence, natural delivery, and impeccable comedic timing. The show, a bold wartime comedy about Allied prisoners running secret operations under the noses of their German captors, became even more memorable with his addition. Before Hogan's Heroes, Kenneth had already established a steady acting career throughout the 1960s, a decade when opportunities for Black actors were limited and often stereotypical. Despite the challenges, he secured roles on some of the era's most iconic series, including the original Star Trek I Dream of Jeannie, Petticoat Junction, and My Three Sons. He also appeared in the 1973 sci-fi film Westworld, a groundbreaking movie exploring themes of robotics and artificial intelligence long before they became mainstream. Kenneth remained active in television movies as well, even portraying characters in a production involving J. Edgar Hoover. After Hogan's Heroes ended, he didn't step away from acting. Instead, he continued working and later made a notable appearance in A Different World in 1989, connecting him to a new generation of audiences. What truly set Kenneth apart was the chapter that followed his acting career. Rather than fading from the spotlight, he returned to school and became an educator. He taught courses on Black actors in film and oral interpretation at Loyola Marymount University and Southwest College, sharing his knowledge and helping young students understand the legacy and struggles of Black performers in Hollywood. At the time of his passing, Kenneth Washington was the last surviving main cast member of Hogan's Heroes, making his death feel like the closing of an era in American television history. Number 2. Malcolm Jamal Warner. Malcolm Jamal Warner was the kind of actor who felt like family to millions of viewers. Every Thursday night as Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, he delivered warmth, humor, and lessons about growing up that audiences never forgot. Born in 1970, Malcolm was still a teenager when he stepped into the role that would make him an international star. From 1984 to 1992, fans watched him transform before their eyes, evolving from an energetic boy into a confident young man. What made Malcolm stand out wasn't just the scripts, it was his natural talent. He had a gift for making everyday teenage struggles feel real, whether he was battling homework frustrations or falling headfirst into young love. His chemistry with the rest of the Huxtable family was so authentic that viewers often forgot they were watching a performance at all. And when The Cosby Show wrapped, Malcolm refused to fade into the background like so many former child actors. Instead, he stepped into adulthood with confidence, starring in Malcolm and Eddie alongside comedian Eddie Griffin. The series ran for 4 seasons and proved he could command the screen just as strongly as an adult. As Malcolm McGee, a mechanic sharing an apartment with Griffin's character, he brought sharp comedic timing and undeniable charm to every episode. But acting wasn't his only creative outlet. Malcolm explored poetry, music, and even directing, showing he was far more versatile than audiences realized. A skilled bass guitarist, he poured emotion into his music, while continuing to refine his craft behind the camera. In recent years, he impressed viewers with standout roles on The Resident as Dr. A.J. Austin, as well as memorable appearances on Major Crimes, 911 and Alert, Missing Persons Unit. Then, on July 20, 2025, tragedy struck. While vacationing with his family in Costa Rica, Malcolm accidentally drowned at Playa Cocles in Limon Province. He was just 54 years old, still full of talent, passion, and potential. His sudden passing left fans heartbroken, marking the loss of an artist who had grown up on screen and continued to shine long after the lights of childhood fame faded. Number 3. James McEachin. James McEachin, born in 1930 in Rennert, North Carolina, lived a life so full of twists, courage, and reinvention that it could easily have been the plot of an adventure novel. At just 17 years old, he enlisted in the U.S. Army in 1947, beginning a journey that would shape much of his character. During the Korean War, James was wounded in an ambush, a moment that nearly cost him his life but also revealed his bravery. His heroism later earned him the Purple Heart and the Silver Star, though he didn't receive these medals until 2005, a reminder of how long it can take for true heroes to be honored properly. After leaving the military, James entered the world of music under the name Jimmy Mack. As a songwriter, he collaborated with remarkable artists, including Otis Redding and the Furies. Music was his first passion in the entertainment world, and he had a natural sense for melody and emotion. But by the 1960s, James felt the pull of a new challenge. Acting, and Hollywood gained one of its most quietly powerful talents. Throughout his career, James appeared on a long list of classic television shows, including Hawaii Five-0, It Takes a Thief, and The Rockford Files. These fast-paced action and mystery series often cast James as tough, sharp-minded characters. He carried an effortless gravitas, the kind that made viewers instantly believe he could outthink or outfight any danger that came his way. He also left a memorable mark on All in the Family, portraying two different characters, Solomon Jackson and Mr. Turner. Since the show was known for tackling serious social issues through humor, James' presence offered audiences the rare opportunity to see a black actor take on layered, thoughtful roles that went beyond stereotypes. In the early 1970s, James starred in his own detective series, Tenafly. Though it lasted just one season, his portrayal of a private investigator was compelling and grounded. Unfortunately, it premiered at a time when television was already crowded with detective shows. Film audiences may best remember James from his collaborations with Clint Eastwood. He appeared in 4 of Eastwood's movies: Coogan's Bluff, Play Misty for Me, Every Which Way But Loose, and Sudden Impact. Being cast repeatedly by a director like Eastwood spoke volumes about the respect and trust James earned on set. Later in his career, he became well known for playing Lieutenant Ed Brock in numerous Perry Mason TV movies, widely enjoyed by longtime fans of the original series. His natural authority elevated every scene he appeared in. In his later years, James focused on writing books and creating projects honoring military history. Dedicated to his fellow veterans, he worked tirelessly to preserve their stories. James McEachin passed away on January 12, 2025, at age 94, leaving behind a remarkable legacy as a soldier, musician, actor, and storyteller. Number 4. Brandon Barbara Artis. Brandon Barbara Artis lived a remarkable life long before Hollywood ever took notice of her. Born in 1944, she served in the U.S. Air Force before stepping into the world of acting. That military experience gave her a unique blend of resilience, focus, and determination, qualities that subtly shaped every role she took on. During her acting career, Brandon appeared in several fascinating films. One of her most notable early credits was THX 1138, George Lucas's first feature film, created before the world knew him as the mastermind behind Star Wars. The movie, a strange and haunting vision of a controlled underground society, wasn't a commercial success in 1971, but over time, It gained recognition as an important stepping stone in Lucas's legendary career, and Brandon was part of that cinematic history. She also acted in At the Top of the Pyramid and The Doctor. Though neither film was a major box office hit, they allowed Brandon to collaborate with different directors and explore new facets of her craft. She approached each project, whether large or small, with a mindset of growth, always searching for ways to sharpen her skills and deepen her performances. Television provided Brandon with steady opportunities to showcase her talent. She appeared on Man from Atlantis, a quirky sci-fi series about a man who could breathe underwater, and The White Shadow, a drama tackling social issues through the story of a white basketball coach at an inner-city school. The show's grounded themes gave actors like Brandon a chance to contribute to meaningful storytelling. She also made appearances on some of television's most iconic soap operas. Knots Landing, Dynasty, and General Hospital all featured her in various roles. Soap operas demanded quick memorization and fast-paced work, but they also let actors dive deeply into emotional, high-stakes drama, something Brandon excelled at. Even after stepping away from acting, Brandon never stopped creating. She wrote an autobiographical one-woman show titled Sister Girl, using the stage to share pieces of her own journey. In 2011, she published a romance novel, Running Barefoot in Paris, further proving her artistic versatility. Brandon Barbara Artis passed away on March 31, 2025, at 81, leaving behind a rich legacy of creativity, resilience, and storytelling. Number 5. Dave Scott. Dave Scott lived and breathed movement. Born in 1973, he grew up with an instinctive feel for rhythm, a natural gift for understanding how bodies could move, bend, and flow to create something unforgettable. Dave wasn't just a dancer, he was a visionary who knew how to teach others to express emotion through movement, turning choreography into a language anyone could feel. One of his earliest major achievements was forming the teen R&B group B2K, which exploded in popularity in the early 2000s. The group Omarion, J-Boog, Raz B, and Lil Fizz became known not only for their music, but for their incredible dancing. Dave crafted all their choreography, shaping their sharp, effortless style. B2K wasn't simply another boy band. They were performers who could light up a stage, and Dave's routines helped define their identity. That success opened the door to the world of film. In 2004, Dave choreographed You Got Served, a movie centered on street battles and the raw energy of competitive dance. His choreography became the heartbeat of the film. Dave understood that dancing for the camera required a different kind of precision. Every gesture, every beat, had to land perfectly because the lens captured everything. His expertise elevated the movie and helped introduce a new generation to street dance culture. Dave continued shaping dance-heavy films, bringing authenticity and style to Step Up 2, The Streets in 2008. His work helped the Step Up franchise become a cultural touchstone for young dancers around the world. He also left his imprint on other movies like Stomp the Yard, Dance Flick, House Party 4, Coach Carter, and Battle of the Year, The Dream Team. Each project demanded a unique approach, and Dave adapted effortlessly, always matching choreography to character, mood, and story. Television audiences embraced him as well. Joining So You Think You Can Dance in Season 3, Dave introduced mainstream viewers to hip-hop and street styles many had never seen performed at such a high level. He later brought his creativity to Dancing with the Stars during Season 7, designing routines for celebrities who relied on him to make them shine. Dave also proved he had an eye for talent. In 2012, he co-created the teen group Mindless Behavior, helping shape their sound and style. His influence even reached gaming with the hip-hop dance experience, which let fans learn his moves at home. Dave Scott passed away on June 16, 2025, at just 52. His legacy, rooted in passion, rhythm, and innovation, continues to inspire dancers everywhere. Number 6. Lynn Hamilton. Lynn Hamilton, born Alzenia Hamilton in Yazoo City, Mississippi, on April 25, 1930, lived through some of the most defining chapters of American history: the Great Depression, World War II, and the long struggle for civil rights. Growing up during such turbulent times shaped her resilience, and when she entered the world of acting, opportunities for Black women were scarce. Still, Lynn refused to let that stop her. She began her artistic journey in Chicago's community theater scene, sharpening her skills on small stages and building the confidence that would carry her forward. At age 29, she reached a major milestone, a Broadway debut in Only in America in 1959. Performing on Broadway, the pinnacle of American theater, proved she possessed both determination and undeniable talent. She continued to shine in numerous Broadway and off-Broadway productions, earning respect as a powerful dramatic actress. Television audiences fell in love with Lynn through her role as Donna Harris on Sanford and Son. The beloved sitcom starred Red Fox as the outspoken junk dealer Fred Sanford, and Lynn portrayed his warm-hearted girlfriend. Their chemistry created some of the show's most charming and heartfelt moments. She held her own beside Red's sharp comedy, offering a perfect blend of humor and tenderness. However, Lynn's most iconic role was Miss Verdi on The Waltons. Set during the Great Depression and WWI, the series highlighted family, community, and moral values. As the town's school teacher, Miss Verdi embodied wisdom, compassion, and strength. Lynn infused the character with such dignity that she became one of the show's most cherished figures. Lynn also played Vivian Potter on Generations, a groundbreaking daytime soap opera centered on Black families. Her graceful presence added depth to the show's storytelling. In 1991, she appeared on Dangerous Women, portraying an ex-con named Johnson. Even in gritty roles like this, Lynn brought emotional nuance and humanity. Over the decades, she made appearances on numerous hit series, including 227, The Golden Girls, NYPD Blue, Cold Case, and Judging Amy. She also appeared in Roots, The Next Generations as Georgia Anderson, further showcasing her remarkable range. Lynn Hamilton passed away on June 19, 2025, at the age of 95, leaving behind a remarkable legacy shaped by perseverance, talent, and decades of change in both Hollywood and America. Number 7. Ananda Lois. Ananda Lewis was the kind of cool, confident older sister everyone wished they had. Born in 1973, she rose to fame as an MTV VJ in the late 1990s, a time when music videos shaped trends, culture, and conversation. Ananda became one of the network's standout personalities, hosting major programs like Total Request Live, where she interviewed the biggest names in music and helped influence which videos dominated the countdown. During the 90s, MTV was a cultural powerhouse, and VJs weren't just presenters, they were trendsetters. Ananda had that rare mix of genuine music knowledge, charm, and approachability. Artists felt at ease around her, which led to interviews that were not only entertaining but refreshingly honest. Before her MTV fame, Ananda worked on BET's Teen Summit, a groundbreaking program focused on real-life issues facing young people. The show tackled topics such as peer pressure, education, relationships, and career preparation. Ananda excelled in that role because she could speak to teens with respect and understanding, never condescending or disconnected. Her ability to relate made her an ideal guide for young viewers navigating difficult subjects. After her time as a VJ, Ananda took a significant leap forward with her own talk show, a major milestone that reflected the trust networks placed in her talent. Hosting a talk show meant carrying the entire program on her shoulders, and she did so with the same warmth, wit, and authenticity that defined her earlier work. In 2020, Ananda made a deeply courageous choice. She publicly revealed her battle with breast cancer. She admitted she had avoided mammograms for years and urged women to learn from her experience. Her message was powerful and direct. "I need you to get your mammograms." She used her platform not for attention, but to potentially save lives by encouraging early detection. When Ananda Lewis passed away on June 11, 2025, at the age of 52, tributes poured in from the networks that helped shape her career. MTV honored her for influencing an entire generation of music fans, while BET praised her continued rise and lasting impact. Her legacy remains one of connection, courage, and cultural influence, an imprint that still resonates with countless people. Number 8. Kirk Meadows. To be honest, Kirk Meadows was the kind of personality who made reality television genuinely entertaining. Born in 1992, he belonged to a generation raised on reality shows and instinctively understood how to be engaging without ever seeming fake. Kirk appeared on MTV's Floribama Shore for all 4 seasons, from 2017 to 2021. The series was MTV's Gulf Coast twist on Jersey Shore, following a group of young adults living together in a beach house as they navigated friendships, work, relationships, and the messy chaos of their 20s. Kirk blended into the group effortlessly because he was naturally charismatic, funny, and easy to get along with. Reality TV is not as simple as it looks. With cameras rolling constantly, every reaction becomes part of the story. Some cast members fold under the pressure or start putting on an act, but Kirk never did. He stayed true to himself, carrying a laid-back charm that made him instantly likable. He never tried too hard, never acted above anyone, and never appeared afraid to laugh at himself. That authenticity helped him stand out in a genre where realness is rare. Kirk also popped up on other MTV programs such as How Far Is Tattoo Far and Fear Factor. These additional appearances were a good sign. MTV clearly enjoyed working with him, and viewers responded positively to his energy. In the reality TV world, being invited back again and again is proof that you're doing something right. What truly set Kirk Meadows apart, though, was his loyalty. When news spread about his illness, his Floribama Shore castmates rallied behind him. Cody Butts shared a heartbreaking message online. "My heart is absolutely broken. I wish this was a bad dream that I could just wake up from. Thank you, Kirk, for giving me some of the best years of my life. You have made me a better person. I will forever love you and cherish our friendship." Kirk's family later created a GoFundMe to assist with medical expenses as he battled necrotizing pancreatitis in the ICU. The outpouring of support showed just how deeply he was loved. Not every reality star receives that kind of genuine care, but Kirk built real connections with people on and off screen. Kirk Meadows passed away on May 2, 2025, at just 33 years old. He was young, with so much life ahead of him, but he had already brought laughter, joy, and memorable moments to countless fans, and to the friends who loved him most. Number 9. Presley Chweneyagae. Presley Chweneyagae was born on October 19, 1984 in Mafeking, South Africa, during the final years of apartheid. Growing up in the 1980s and 90s meant witnessing some of the most dramatic political and social transformations in the nation's history. Those turbulent, defining years shaped Presley not only as an individual but also as an artist. He began acting at a young age and spent nearly 3 decades working across theater, television, and film. South Africa's entertainment industry was beginning to find its own voice, separate from Western influence, and young actors like Presley helped forge a new and authentic creative identity. At just 21 years old, Presley earned the role that would propel him onto the global stage, the lead character in Tsotsi. The 2005 film, directed by Gavin Hood, follows a troubled young gangster living in a Johannesburg township who unexpectedly becomes responsible for a baby he attempts to steal. The role demanded emotional depth, vulnerability, and transformation. Presley's character begins as someone viewers might despise but slowly reveals a capacity for compassion and redemption. Tsotsi wasn't simply a hit, it made history. The film won the 2006 Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film, becoming the first South African production ever to win an Oscar, and it also received a Golden Globe nomination. For a young actor from South Africa, This achievement was nothing short of extraordinary, an overnight leap into international recognition. Following the success of Tsatsi, Presley found new opportunities both at home and abroad. He appeared in Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom, starring Idris Elba, a film honoring one of the most important figures in world history. Presley also acted in More Than Just a Game, State of Violence, and Africa United, each exploring different elements of African society, struggle, and triumph. His performances carried authenticity because he understood the realities behind the stories. Presley Chweneyagae passed away on May 27, 2025, at only 40 years old, though his life ended far too soon. He had already achieved something remarkable, helping elevate South African cinema onto the world stage and leaving behind performances that continue to resonate long after the credits roll. Number 10. Barry Michael Cooper. Barry Michael Cooper was born and raised in Harlem, and his work always reflected the heartbeat of the community that shaped him. He began his career as a music critic for The Village Voice, covering hip-hop and R&B at a time when both genres were still finding their voices. Barry understood that music wasn't just entertainment, it was a cultural language, a form of storytelling for communities whose experiences were often overlooked. His journalism quickly earned him respect. In 1987, he wrote one of his most influential pieces for The Village Voice, Kids Killing Kids, New Jack City Eats Its Young, an unflinching look at Detroit's destructive drug trade. Barry didn't just present statistics, he painted a haunting portrait of how violence and drugs were tearing apart young lives. The article caught the eye of Quincy Jones, one of the most influential figures in entertainment. Quincy invited Barry to rework a screenplay about 1970s drug kingpin Nicky Barnes, and Barry's rewrite became New Jack City in 1991. The film, starring Wesley Snipes, Ice-T, Alan Payne, and Chris Rock, became both a box office hit and a cultural milestone. Barry crafted a story that was gripping and entertaining while still grounded in the harsh realities it depicted. New Jack City became the first entry in what would later be known as Barry's Harlem trilogy. The second film, Sugar Hill, once again teamed him with Wesley Snipes for another gritty look at the drug world. The third, Above the Rim, starring Tupac Shakur, shifted focus to basketball but still explored themes of survival and the struggles facing young black men. Together, the three films showcased Barry's ability to blend social commentary with powerful storytelling. Barry Michael Cooper passed away on January 21, 2025, at age 66. In his lifetime, he witnessed hip-hop rise from a neighborhood movement to a global cultural force, and saw signs of healing in the very communities whose stories he fought to tell. Number 11. Shavy Lewis. Shavy Lewis had a fashion sense that was impossible to overlook. Many viewers remember him from season 18 of Project Runway, where although he didn't take home the win, he certainly left a lasting impact before finishing in 10th place. His daring designs and sharp creative vision stood out immediately. Long before reality TV found him, Shavy was already turning heads as the creative director for the menswear label Stephen F., and he even built his own clothing line from the ground up. Tragically, on February 24th, Shavy passed away at just 38 years old. The news stunned both his fellow designers and his fans. Brittany Allen, one of his castmates, shared a touching tribute, saying the fashion world felt dimmer without him. And she was right. Shavy was the kind of artist whose ideas didn't just inspire, they illuminated every room he entered. Number 12. Robbie Pardlow. If the early 2000s R&B era shaped your playlist, you definitely remember City High, and especially Robbie Pardlow. As one of the group's founding members, Robbie helped define their sound, and What Would You Do became unavoidable in 2001. The track's raw honesty forced listeners to stop, think, and feel. Alongside Claudette Ortiz and Ryan Toby, Robbie brought a unique edge that set the trio apart. Their self-titled album, City High, earned a Grammy nomination and cemented their place in R&B history. After the group split, Robbie continued nurturing his passion for music through another project called First Take. He passed away on July 17th at age 46, a loss deeply felt by fans of the early 2000s sound. Number 13, Sam Moore. Lean on Time. If you've ever shouted those words while blasting Soul Man, then you already know the power of Sam Moore. As one half of the legendary duo Sam and Dave, he helped shape the very sound of soul music. Born in Miami in 1935, Sam grew up singing in church before joining forces with Dave Prater. Together, they created a timeless catalog with hits like Hold On, I'm Coming, I Thank You, and the iconic Soul Man, which earned them a Grammy in 1968. When the duo split in 1970, Sam's solo journey unfolded more quietly. His first solo album didn't arrive until 2002, but he made up for lost time with 2006's Overnight Sensational, featuring stars like Bruce Springsteen, Mariah Carey, Sting, and others. Sam Moore passed away on January 10th at age 89, leaving behind a legacy of unmatched soul and a voice that generations will never forget. Number 14, Walter Scott Jr. Walter Scott Jr. was one half of an unforgettable musical force. Together with his twin brother Wallace, he helped create the Whispers, one of the most beloved groups in R&B history. Born in 1943, Walter found his passion for music early and never let go. With timeless hits like Rock Steady, and The Beat Goes On, and Lady, the Whispers dominated the airwaves throughout the 80s. Walter wasn't just a vocalist, he was a performer whose voice carried warmth, soul, and heart. After a 6-month battle with cancer, he passed away on June 26 at 81, surrounded by family, leaving behind a legacy still cherished by fans today. Number 15, Young Scooter. Young Scooter carved out a powerful presence in Atlanta's hip-hop scene with his raw storytelling and non-stop mixtape grind. Born Kenneth Bailey in 1986, he launched his rap career with Finessin' and Flexin' in 2011, quickly catching the ear of Future and joining the Freebands family. From that moment on, Scooter never let up. His 2013 mixtape Street Lottery featured the breakout hit Columbia, which later earned an all-star remix with Rick Ross, Birdman, and Gucci Mane. Across more than 20 mixtapes, he collaborated with heavyweights like Chief Keef, Lil Wayne, and Akon, delivering a gritty authenticity fans connected with. Sadly, Scooter passed away on March 28 at just 39 years old, only a month after releasing Fast Lane Juggin', his final project. Number 16, Young Noble. Young Noble wasn't just another figure in hip-hop, he was a direct extension of Tupac's legacy. Born Rufus Lee Cooper III, he entered the rap world with purpose when Tupac personally invited him to join Outlawz in 1996. That same year, Noble appeared on the Don Killuminati, The 7 Day Theory, contributing to iconic tracks like Hail Mary. He went on to carve out his own path, releasing 8 solo albums, starting with Noble Justice in 2002 and concluding with The Last Outlaw in 2024. Fans admired him for honoring the Outlaw's mission and keeping Tupac's spirit alive through powerful, uncompromising music. Tragically, Noble died by suicide on July 4th in Atlanta at the age of 47. His loss hit the hip-hop community hard, especially those who understood how vital his voice and loyalty were to the culture. Number 17, Wayne Lewis. Wayne Lewis helped shape some of the smoothest R&B ever recorded. As a founding member of Atlantic Starr, he blended soulful vocals with elegant keyboard work, giving the group its unmistakable sound. Formed in 1976 by Wayne, his brothers, and a talented circle of musicians, Atlantic Starr delivered timeless hits like Circles, Always, and Masterpiece. Wayne's gentle voice and melodic instincts became central to the band's identity, and their songs still echo through wedding halls, radio throwback hours, and classic R&B playlists. Wayne passed away on June 5 at 68, leaving behind a legacy forever etched into the world of love songs. Number 18, Dwayne Wiggins. Dwayne Wiggins brought soul, swagger, and unmatched musicianship to every stage he touched. As a founding member of Tony, he helped craft unforgettable hits like Feels Good, If I Had No Loot, and Anniversary. Formed with his half-brother Raphael Sadiq and cousin Timothy Christian Riley, the group became a defining force of the 90s. Their seamless blend of funk, soul, and romance created a sound that felt both nostalgic and innovative. Even after the group's peak, Dwayne stayed influential behind the scenes, mentoring rising stars such as her, Zendaya, and even Destiny's Child before they became household names. Fans were thrilled when the original lineup reunited in 2023, but heartbreak followed. On March 7th, just a year later, Dwayne passed away at 64 after battling bladder cancer. His loss was deeply felt across the R&B world he helped shape. Each of these actors left behind more than unforgettable roles. They left pieces of themselves that continue to inspire generations. Which loss touched you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And before you go, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next tribute or deep dive into Hollywood's hidden stories. We still see you in the next one.